समस्तजन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, so we start with verse 12 now. And last time we had done ye yatha mam prapadyante tanstathaiva bhajamyaham, and I told you that there is a law of ecology in the world, and Krishna, or the Supreme, is with it. So you worship him in any way, and he says मैं उसको वैसे ही भजता हूँ. He also uses the word bhaja. So then here now we come. काङ्क्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. Translating, they who long after success in actions in this world make sacrifices to the gods, because success is quickly attained from actions in this world of men. In the previous chapter, I had explained what Devata means. When they say Devata, see, you make sacrifices to the Devata and the Devata rewards you. And here he says, they who long for success in action. See, kankshataha, kangshantaha, kanksha, you know akanksha, you say akanksha. Akanksha means desire. And so they who long for success, who desire deeply for success in the world, success in actions in this world, make sacrifices to the gods. Now, this is not havan, as I told you. This is not putting ghee into the fire or putting samagri into the fire. That is not what is meant over here. When he says sacrifices to the gods, gods being power centers, giving potentials, that which can give. Over here, it means the sense or the sense organs which you run after, the rich and powerful whom you run after, because they have the capacity to give. So here Devata means that. So when you succeed in action in this world, make sacrifices to the gods only means that you put in your effort, time and energy to please the gods, and they in turn give to you. So here, because success is quickly gained from actions in the world of men. Now, quickly gained, that they don't want to evolve. They do not want to wait, because this other knowledge is very, very, I mean, you have to put in a lot of effort to rise over here. Whereas success in the world of objects, you can gain it quickly. You flatter somebody and you gain something. You give gifts to somebody and you gain something. You please somebody somehow or the other, whatever way, and you gain things. So that is very easy to get. And that is what he's saying over here. And he says, see, but finite actions gain only finite results. And most of the people have very petty desires, small desires, power, money, fame, all these. Now, these are all finite. They go sooner than they come. You must have seen, that anything in the world, just about anything in the world you gain. And after you have gained it, the joy of having gained it is for a very short while. And before you have embraced the joy, it is gone. And your mind is running towards something else. So those gains are also finite of those petty things. And we run many rat races in this world. Many rat races. I am better in this and I'm better in that. Look how skilled I am. Look how educated I am. Look how powerful. Look how rich I am. And the media also appreciates those kind of people, and really celebrates them in the papers and the magazines and all that. So you have, but along with those bouquets, you also get brickbats. Tell me who doesn't? Even a prime minister or a president, no matter how capable he is, gets brickbats. Anybody who is famous will be defamed, because a person whom nobody knows, like the general lot of people, uh, if anyone talks about them also, it makes no difference. But somebody who has a name, he gets defamed very quickly. You see this word viral in social media. Why does it go viral? Because people want to know about a certain person. हाँ? And वो गाना नहीं है, जो है नाम वाला वो ही तो बदनाम है. That is what it is. Other people can't be badnaam. Only naam wala. So here he says that, see, finite gains get finite results and they very quickly finish. And whether it is money, power, or it is any kind of capability, or it is any kind of skill, no matter what you achieve, it is going to go. It comes quickly. And these kind of cheap pleasures also, if you get, they very quickly satisfy you, and then they turn into poisonous things. They themselves start giving you pain after some time. And you know the story of people who construct these big, big houses. I have a house in Goa, I have a house in the hills, I have a house here, I have a house there. And then to look after those houses, ask them. And they'll tell you what a bother it is, what a pain it is. And they go there when? Once in a year for 15 days. The rest is all pain. So here he's saying that only, that these things are so easy to gain if you put in the effort, but they are also very quick to go. And then success is quickly gained from actions in this world of men. Now, see, you are only praying to God, not for the love of God. These kind of people pray to God so that they may win a rat race. So and so should not be better than me. I should be first. I should be more powerful. The world should know me as the richest. The world should know me as this, that, or the other. For how long? How many people in the world do you still know? Tell me. What is fame? It's a signature on water. Very soon it flows away. Before you know it is going to be. And like this one, Fitzgerald, translating the Rubaiyat, has said, like snow upon the desert's dusty face, lighting an hour or two is gone. So that is the kind of fame and thing that you get. Now, the whole life you spend getting and spending, getting and spending. What more do you do? Tell me. I have gained this, I have enjoyed it, and I have spent this. The whole time you are aggrandizing wealth and spending wealth. That is all the autobiography of your life. What more have you done? Have you risen higher? Have you evolved? Have you done anything nobler than just collecting and spending and collecting and spending? Some people spend their whole lives doing that. Okay. Now then, so you lay waste your powers collecting and spending. Now, then come to the next verse. Now, the next verse says, there are, see, two kinds of natures, introvert nature and extrovert nature. These people that this verse describes are those people who have an extrovert nature. By temperament, they are like that. Now, the next verse, this verse is very, very highly debatable, and people have lots of misgivings about it. So I will spend a little time on it. So please bear with me. चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारम् अव्ययम्. Look what it says. The fourfold caste has been created by me according to the differentiation of guna and karma. Though I am the author thereof, know me as a non-doer and immutable. Now, see, this is a very interesting verse because Brahmins, decadent Brahmin in Hinduism has used this verse to enslave the entire humanity, and also quoted 1/4 of this verse to make it look like it's divine sanction. Divine sanction of what? Chatur Vanya Maya Srishtam. The Lord has said, you know what they say? They say, go to the Geeta, go to chapter 4, verse 13, and see, he says, Chatur Vanyam Maya Srishtam. That means I have created the four castes. So who are you to challenge it? You must follow that. And why don't you follow that? And so the superior most is Brahmin. The next comes Kshatriya. Then comes the Vaishya. And then comes the Shudra. They have made this classification, the decadent Hindu priests, for their benefit, so that they can rule over the rest of the men. This is trickery, because look what the Lord says further. He says, Guna karma vibhagashaha. Okay. Now, you are quoting a divine sanction for the atrocities on other people, which is not what the Lord has done. He says, Guna karma vibhagasha. Okay, let me come to the first word. Chatur varnya. Varna is, he is using a yogic term for colors. Yogic colors are used as sattvic color is white, rajasic is red, and tamasic is dark or black, right? So when he says varna, varna actually means color. Now chatur varna, when he says, so varna, you also use, see, देखो आप use करते हो ना, वो विष्णु की स्तुति नहीं है, shashi varnam chaturbhujam. Now shashi varnam means of the complexion of the moon, the color of the moon, the brightness and glow of the moon. So that is shashi varnam. Like that, varna is used for color. Now here he says chatur varnyam. I have created the four. This word itself means that there is a textural difference in human beings. All human beings are not equal. Definitely not equal. Neither in looks, nor in tendencies, nor in actions, nor in the brains they have, nor in the skills and the talents that they are born with. Don't you say this one is a born singer? Why am I not a born singer? Then you question, isn't it? So I am different, my skills are different, my capabilities are different. Someone else is a scholar. He's a research scholar, done many books on this, that, and the other, read international papers and all that. Why am I not like that? His skills are different. My skills are different. So human beings are all different from each other. See, a variety is at the core of nature. Isn't science a study of classifications, species, and groups? Science studies like that you classify. Animals are classified, isn't it? Birds, species, plants, species. So human beings also have species. In countries, different countries, they look different. They behave differently, they speak differently, they have different kinds of desires. So isn't that a classification? Here, the Lord has classified on the basis of guna karma. Please note, it is not by birth. In one of my talks on the third chapter, I had explained this thing. I am explaining it again because we are doing this verse, that it is not by, nowhere does Krishna say that I have classified 4 different kinds of people. Chatur Varna. Chatur means 4 different kinds. He has kinds of people he has classified. And those classifications also, understand please, why is this classification done by Krishna over here? He has only done the classification for the purpose of scriptural study. That some people are like this, some are like this, some are like this, and some are like this. But they are not born like that. I have also previously mentioned early Vedic history, if you have studied, and later Vedic studies. Early Vedic studies have different verses which very clearly say that I was born a Brahmin and I married a Vaishya. A Vaishya, born a Vaishya, has married a Brahmin or behaves like a Brahmin, born in a Vaishya family, but tendencies are totally Brahminical, interested in study. I know somebody who is born a Vaishya into a big Vaishya family, and this person is a very big scholar in Sanskrit, spends hours and hours studying Sanskrit, has done research work on the words of the Geeta, has created a Sanskrit dictionary, is also now doing work on the each word of the different Upanishads. Born in a Vaishya family, don't forget. Married into a Vaishya family also. But then what is this person? This person is Brahmanical by temperament. So this person will be classified as Brahmin, while a husband who is a big industrialist will be classified as the third category Vaishya. So don't ever classify like that. It is guna and karma. So mental tendencies of a human being, and according to the mental textures of your thoughts are your actions. So all your actions become whatever your thinking is. How many Brahmins have you heard? You know the names, papers. Read the papers when crimes are done. Read the names of the people who have committed the crimes and who have been caught. Huh? There are so many people who are high class Brahmins, highly born Brahmins who have committed murders. So is that Brahminical? Can you call that person a Brahmin? No, you cannot. Absolutely not. There are Kshatriyas. You know, Kshatriyas are what? Those who are the defenders of the country, those who wield power, the leaders of men. Those are Kshatriyas, standing up for a right cause, defending the weak and the poor. That is Kshatriya temperament, not standing for justice. Now, these kind of people are what? Politicians, army men, or defense forces rather, defense forces, police, high powered bureaucrats. These are all leaders of men. So they all come under Kshatriya. Vaishyas. Vaishya comes under people who do business. People who are doing business, trade, generating wealth in the country, which is also a very highly important thing. Even Arjun had the title of Dhananjaya. So, but Arjun doesn't become a Vaishya. But certain actions of his have been like Vaishya. Also, let me tell you that these 3 temperaments, there is a mix of these temperaments in every human being. There is very few human beings who are totally Brahminical, very few who are total businessmen, very few who are total Kshatriyas. So you have a mixture of these tendencies, but when he says that there is a division, it only means that the most prominent tendency of yours, you will be classified as that. If your most prominent tendency is to earn money and all the time generate wealth, generate jobs, generate goods, produce goods for people, then you are a Vaishya. right? But then there must be some periods in your life when you are so much into Vedantic study, to philosophy. At that time, you are acting like a Brahmin, right? If you are you are doing service, people who are not into anything, not into anything academic, not into Brahma Vidya, not into, they say we can't do all this, we can only serve with our hands and feet. We can serve society. All these people who do social work come under Shudra. Now, Shudra is not something which you look down upon. They are doing huge service to mankind, isn't it? All your NGOs that work for the uplift of society, that is a Shudra tendency, serving others. Nurses, the entire hospitality industry comes under Shudra because they do service. आप service tax pay करते नहीं. All those people who pay service tax come under this category. They are also come under the Vaishya category because they are earning, right? So Kshatriyas are different, and Brahmins are mostly that who love to study, do research, and teach. They have no other interest in earning money. They do not have interest in other kind of things of getting fame and power and this and that. So they say, what for? And they are all the time into study. They are Brahminical in temperament. Okay, so here you notice कि कितना different है. Now you see, the word Brahmin has come from the word Brahma. This is the first category. Okay, now Brahma, those who revel in the knowledge of Brahma, that is the supreme reality, those who study about him, those who philosophize about him, and those who teach about him, about the supreme reality I'm talking, they are Brahmana. Brahmana means जो ब्रह्म में रमण करता है वो ब्राह्मण. Okay, that is the joining of the word. Next is Kshatriya. Kshatriya, the word has come from Chhatra. Chhatra means, it stands for power. Okay, राजा के ऊपर छत्र होता है, तो वो छत्र जो है, it symbolizes power. Somebody who's a supreme being, somebody who wields a lot of power, he is Kshatriya. And then similar, Vanijya. Vanijya is commerce. So Vanijya se Vaishya. And so also Shudra. Shudra is who works with the body. The entire physical body से जो आप serve करते हैं, that person is a Shudra. So these are the different tendencies and textures and all that. But अच्छा, फिर आप ये देखिए, now then this is a very interesting, this we've done. Come to this one. तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य अकर्तारम अव्ययम. Look at this. He says that I am the author thereof. That means I have made this division. Yet he says, therefore, know me, thereof know me as a non-doer. Now, this is a paradoxical statement. It is pulling in two different directions. And, in the same breath, he says, I am the doer. And in the same breath, he is saying, know me as a non-doer. Okay. Now, these are the things in the Geeta that people have always wondered about. They get totally confused and they say, what is Krishna trying to say? And there are such contradictions. In even one line, there is a contradiction. Okay, now let me give you an example. You see, when a child is born, the child is a fetus in the womb. Okay, the mother is not able to create the child. What is the mother doing except eating food? Right? The father and mother come together, and all the rest is done by whom? The Lord. Ask the mother if she can even make a nail in his finger, in the child's finger. No, she can't. Can the mother make a vein in his eye? No. Can she make one cell of his body? No, she can do nothing. So who is doing it? Think about it. Think about it. The person who is doing it, I won't say person, the power that is doing it is other than the mother. The mother's body is being used to produce that child by the supreme power. Yet the power is not actively doing anything. By his mere presence, the child is getting formed because the mother is alive. See, the mother is alive. She is alive because of that great grand power. Her entire body is functioning because of that great grand power. That beautiful, lovely child is being formed in her womb because of that great grand power. She is doing nothing, nor the father is doing anything. Right one. Another example I'll give you, electricity. Electricity is not moving. But when equipments contact electricity, they move. The fan moves. The fan is a motionless, dead entity. But coming in close proximity with electricity, the fan moves. So you can say the fan is moving, but you cannot say the electricity is moving. No. You cannot say the electricity is cooling or heating. It is the equipment that is doing it, but electricity enables it to do. So, electricity is the author of it. Without electricity, nothing can happen. Yes, but the electricity is not doing anything as such. It doesn't do anything, it's just there. So, by its sheer presence, things move. I had given you the last time I gave you the example of a magnet. That magnet, by its very presence, attracts iron pieces, but the magnet doesn't go and pull it towards it. No, it doesn't. It has that power, and it is because of the magnetic power that those iron pieces move. Okay, so here you see kartaramapi. That means I make it possible. Kartaramapi means I make it possible. Translate is that karta. Without me, it cannot happen. Similarly, petrol in a car, another example. I'm doing this in detail so that it's there with you. You know, this verse, because a lot of people argue, how can he say both the things in the same? Huh? So, petrol. Petrol is the author of the movement of the car. Yes. It is because of the petrol that the car moves. Right. But the movement of the car, where it goes, whether it hits an accident or it is moving slowly or at 80 miles an hour or what, is the work of the driver. And it is the efficacy of the equipment in the engine. It is not petrol. But petrol is doing, yet is not the doer. That is what Krishna is saying over here. That I am, ye dekho dono cheezein, kartaram api and akartaram. He is using both the things. Now, these kind of contradictions, need to be explained to the student, which if you read the Gita, a lot of people say, I can read it myself. Okay, read it yourself. And then you will get stuck in places over here, like here. You need Guru Kripa to unravel these to you. And that is why we are so grateful to our teacher who, in the first place, explained it to us. As now I am giving it out because of only the kripa of my teacher who explained it to me. Now, scriptures are mystic literature. And mystic literature is always written this way. So, this is the style of mystic literature. But you will also understand that, it is like this, that you have to understand the core meaning of what is being said. Like, for example, you say that I took a train to Lucknow. I reached Lucknow I caught a train and reached Lucknow. Okay. Can you reach without walking? No, you can't. So you reached by sitting only. How come? You were sitting all through. So isn't this a contradiction? You traveled to Lucknow, but all the time you were sitting. The train enabled you to go to Lucknow while you were sitting. You used the equipment and the power. So it is like this, so these are these contradictions, but you have to understand them as how. Even classification, when he says Chaturvarnya, I told you even in animals you classify. Just take even one example, say for instance, a dog. Okay, a German Shepherd is a different dog than a golden retriever. A retriever is used for fetching things out from somewhere, smelling them and pulling them out. An Alsatian or a German Shepherd is used for smelling things out. Okay, and a bulldog is used for attacking. Okay, hounds are used also for hunting. So these are different categories of dogs. They are all dogs, just like we are all human beings. But each dog is classified, specified, named according to its tendencies and actions, isn't it? So ये गुण कर्म विभाग हुआ या नहीं? Similarly, plants, उनमें कितना गुण कर्म विभाग? That is how it is. So you have got to understand tasya kartaram api mam vidya akartaram avyayam. So he says that I am immutable, avyaya. Vyaya to samajhte hai na, kharch karna. And avyayam, which will never get spent. It is always there. It will never change. That is immutable. It will always be there. That is there. Okay, now let's come. If this is clear, then let's come to the next verse. So here the next verse says, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam yo bhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. Now, namam karmani limpanti. He says, actions do not taint me, nor have I any desire for the fruits of actions. He who knows me thus is not bound by his actions. Now look what he says. Again, he's saying the same thing. Actions do not taint me. He causes actions, but the action has no effect on him. For instance, again, take electricity and petrol, are same old examples. When a car hits an accident, is the petrol affected? If the car is moving slowly or it is moving at very high speed, is the petrol affected? No, it is not affected in any way. Similarly, electricity. The speed of the fan, or whether the electricity is cooling or heating, whether the electricity is lighting up a 0 power bulb or it is lighting up a 1000 kilowatt bulb. Is electricity being affected in any way? No, because it doesn't desire anything. So he says again the same way, actions do not taint me. That means in no way do they affect me. Nor have I any desire for the fruits of actions. Electricity has no desire that the light should be stronger or it should be medium or it should be very dim. Electricity does not desire. So he says here that I do not desire the fruits of actions, right? And he says, he who knows me thus is not bound by his actions. This is something very interesting to understand. The word knows over here. First, understand this word. It means knows one's true nature, because you in essence are the supreme, but we do not know it. We keep thinking ourselves to be the body, mind and intellect. All of us think ourselves to be the body, mind, and intellect. Huh? Off and on, this thought comes because the teachers have told us that you are not the body. So off and on, when the puja room or trying to meditate, you try to think that you are not the body. But most of the time, you are like that. The Lord says, he who knows me. Knows does not mean as a piece of knowledge like you and I know. No, no. Knows here means something that is a part of you. Something you absolutely and definitely know. When a dreamer wakes up, is the waker any doubtful that he is not the waker, but he is probably the dreamer of the dream? He has no doubt. He definitely knows. The word here knows means you have experienced it. Once you have experienced it, you know for sure. You know for sure that you are not this. Okay. Now he says, why? See, when he says that actions do not taint me, no, I have any desire for the fruits of actions, and that I am independent of all this. Giving you a very good example of a reflection of the sun in a bucket of water. That is what the reflection, the example Gurudev has given. Now just see, in the reflection of the sun in the water is dependent on the quality of the water. Yes. If the water is clear and clean, the reflection of the sun is so bright that you cannot really look at it. You will blink and you will turn your gaze away because it hits the eye as though you were looking at the sun itself. But if the water, the reflecting medium is muddy, it is unclean, and what will the reflection of the sun be? The reflection of the sun will also be dull. It will be muddy, it will be dull. The sun will be incapable of heating the water because the dirty water, the dirt in the water, will stop the rays from coming in. Similarly, a person who has understood his divinity, his mind is like the pure waters in the bucket, and the supreme reflecting in those pure waters gives out divinity. That person radiates divinity. You can make it out by even nearing the person. That person always has a happy temperament. The person will never be depressed and sad and all that. So that and these kind of realized masters, their speech is divine, their look is divine, their presence is divine. In fact, they create a divine energy field wherever they go. Now, so here when he says that he who knows me thus is not bound by his actions, because he knows that I am not acting. A person who gets bound by his actions is the one who believes that he is acting. Now, in the muddy waters, is the sun affected anyway? The actual sun in the sky, is he affected in any way? No, he is not. The reflection will be muddy, the reflection will be dull, but the actual sun is like this. He says, actions do not taint me, nor have I any desire for the fruits of action. The sun does not desire anything. It does not desire that my reflection should be bright. It does not desire that my reflection should be blinding, or that I should be able to heat the water, or that I should be able to energize the plants. No, the sun has got no motive. The sun has got no desire. This is the example he gives, and it's a very, very good example if somebody can just understand this thing, that the nature of the sun in the sky remains the same. And if the reflection can understand that it is not this dirty, muddy light, it is that pure light, which it is, then What is it? Then he says that person is not bound by his actions because he himself becomes the Lord. A realized master is the only one who can completely know, who actually knows, who has been there, seen that, done that. So it is not by just listening or by knowledge, or somebody gives you the knowledge, or that you have read the Geeta, that you can know. You cannot know. It is not this kind of knowledge. It is not an objective knowledge. It is a subjective knowledge. A tiger who's brought up along with the sheep. You've heard that story many times, isn't it? You know, that samba and this and that. Your children keep watching. Now, if he is being brought up along with sheep or cows or a herd, he starts believing that he's like that, and he starts bleating like a lamb. Once the tiger is shown his reflection in the water, that is the story. He is shown his reflection in the water, and he understands that no, he's the lion. He's actually the lion. Will he ever bleat like a lamb again? He will never bleat like a lamb again. So he says, he who knows me thus is not bound by the actions. And this is a famous statement by Karl Menninger. He says, attitudes are more important than facts. It is how you look at the facts that determines your life. That will become the quality of your life. The screen through which you interact with the world, the mental screen with which you touch the world, becomes your reality. If you have got an impure mind, the world stands impure for you. And if you have a pure mind, you will see the world very, very differently. So it is actions, attitudes bind, actions do not bind. So with whatever attitude you do the action, that will be binding on you. Now, after seeing your own reflection, that is, your reflection means your pure reflection of the Supreme in you. Once you have experienced that, never again can you be that miserable human being, that sad human being who considers himself as this limited body, mind, and intellect, and beyond that he has no power in the world. Everything else has power over him. Everything else influences him. Everything else bullies him, kicks him, and he feels miserable because he limits himself within the fold of these two shoulders, and he thinks, I am only this. So when this verse says that when he knows for sure, he knows, remember this word knows, and thus he is not bound by his actions. We will do the rest next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.